Okay, just a couple of ditties tonight. A quote from Daniel C. Dennett in Consciousness Explained, postulating special inequalities that are not only private and intrinsically valuable, but also unconfirmable and uninvestigatable is just obscurantism. Young in the mind. There's another world, a different world, and it coexists with ours. And if you can travel far and wide and never leave the bar or the bed of your mother or school or your yard, then this is where you are. Good number of you have never been and probably never will go to this country I'm talking about, but it is right here as we're talking now, and I wish you could get it straight. There are many who think that the government's real or that heaven can enter their lives or that living can challenge the gods and the fates, but reality halters and blinkers their minds. And the dish ran away with the spoon. So brag of your money, your screws, your sensitive Aravist soul. You're shutting the door to the penniless world where Victorians dig in the dark and where Martians talk dirty to girls so that mankind won't mean what it thinks. It does serve a purpose, this philanderer's world, a purpose I may not describe, for the spies come in colonies, suck and destroy, and believe what they're spreading is free. So I'll end up right here, not having said much, perhaps just too much for our good. Go write it down now, what in childhood they said, and remember the stars in your eyes. This is called middle management. I sometimes think about the folks who live in this cartoon. They like to live a business plan and never cast an errant glance. They go home early, leave the dance, and go and clean their room. Their grown-up lives are lined up straight. They keep their longings satisfied, invisible and clear. The childishness of louts like me derives from crazy thoughts of how this panel seems too small, the smile's not charming, hair not long, 100 IQs not enough. Now for some plaster on this poem, some grown-up fairness here, but are they more écru than I? Or we all have to do it, or am I really so much less of a mass at 52 megahertz? And for the answer, must call on someone else. Ah, here she comes, our light of day, a carnival of competence with Christmas in her ear, a whistling down the high street, casting glances off the curb and off the brownstones as she sings herself a tune. And the fires rumbling past us are loud enough to smell, and her tinkling love of heaven is the bait into her haven. She's glad, so very glad she's she. You'd bet on her. And here's the notion they're selling now, and who are they? There's no more prejudice to validation. Any strong, clean spirit can be dubbed official. What they once hated now is showbiz, and economy wins again, although it's decorated stylish now in pink and puce and black. But pay no attention to me. I was poisoned as a youth. And I'll finish up with, I heard a song. They wrote a song about us, sung by a girl with an impudent voice. But how did that girl do justice to you and your womanly character flaws? She must be a fiction like me, or the song, or the thought that we'd not had a choice. So I wrote out the song and I lived it for you in a fog, in a dream, in a lie. That was all I could find on the emptying stage of internal applause. For the song about us I heard sung like a wish in your beautiful voice. By the grinding of fate, we gave up our illusion of learning to fly. From the prayers of the past in the grip of remembrance's claws, which must be a fiction like me, or a song, or the thought that we'd not had a choice. To step out of time with the ease of a shadow, we looked up at the sky and wished for illusions to hold us defending or hiding our cause. The writing of songs we might sing with a carefree and impotent voice. The notes of a melody, dissident, parallel fourths like a cry, resolved to false climax and finally kept to the classical laws because of a fiction like me, or the song, or the lie that we'd not had a choice. I once had a haven in corners of wishing where no one would die, unknown to believers in sad songs the money dream draws. That wrote a song about us to be sung by a girl with an impudent voice that must be a fiction like me, or the song, or the thought that we'd not had a choice. Thank you for listening to my ditties.
Thank you so much. And There's lines that I'd like to quote back and praise that I'd like to give. Of course, as always, I really enjoy your sense of rhythm in your work. And you know, there are some who think that the government is real. I love this. And you have, you know, think about the folks who dance in this cartoon. There's so many images of like our world being unreal, but we believe in it. A carnival of competence with Christmas in her ear. I love it. Thanks a million, Bill. Incredibly strong work as always, and happy to have you here again. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Thank you.